Sir, you said in your opening statements that you're attacking cartels and smugglers in an unequivocal way. You most certainly are not, sir. As a matter of fact, if they were in this room right now, the heads of these cartels, you know what they'd tell us? They'd say, hey, re-elect these guys again. And by all means, keep that guy right in his seat because he's our MVP. He's making it so easy for us to smuggle drugs, smuggle people, get gangs into this country, distract our Border Patrol agents, and at the same time, destroy the U.S. economy. And because of your dereliction of duty, and because of this president and this administration, we continue to have drugs, gang members, sex trafficking pouring into this country. And you sit there with a smug look on your face.
Joining me now, that congressman, my friend from the state of Arizona, former Navy SEAL Eli Crane. Okay, Eli, most people are not in Arizona. Most people are not in Texas or Southern California, so they don't actually understand what it's like being in a border state where it's just illegals and the drugs and the suffering and the misery that comes with it. It's just part and parcel for daily life. What's it like in your district?
Well, you heard me talk about some of the most serious things in that clip where I was actually addressing Secretary Mayorkas, but there's a lot of secondary and tertiary things that come from the invasion at our southern border. Just to give, those of you that don't live in a border state an idea, if you go to many of the emergency rooms here in Arizona, your wait times will be extremely longer. You'll pay more for car insurance. And often, there's folks that are hardworking Americans that want jobs that aren't able to get those jobs because companies are paying illegals under the table to do those jobs. And so there's a lot of other things outside of the sex trafficking, the 70,000 people that have died in this country just with fentanyl alone, the MS-13 gang members chopping people's heads off. There's a lot going on. And even recently, Jesse, we've had cartel members that are becoming so emboldened because of this administration that they're actually sending armed cartel members into this country. And that's how out of control it is.
I'm glad you brought that one up, Congressman, because I have heard these reports. I've seen the pictures recently, but I've heard these reports about the cartels who have previously been not non-violent. That's not what I'm trying to say, but not as violent here. They conduct themselves much differently here in America. We have a neighborhood here in Houston where the cartel leaders live, and the cops know about it, and they just agree. There's no violence allowed. That's where they are, and that's changing, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing at all, Jesse. And the bad news that I have for your audience is I don't see much of a change taking place until we eliminate the leadership in this country. Because from day one, as you know, even before they were in office, they were signaling that they were going to allow this invasion. When then candidate Biden was saying in some of his campaign speeches, if you want to come here and you feel oppressed, come. We'll give you your day in court. We'll allow you to be heard. And if you know anything about asylum law, traditionally, asylum, has only been granted to people who are in a bordering state. So Americans, I'm sure by this point, have a pretty good understanding. But we're seeing immigrants from 150 different countries. It's not just Mexico, and you're starting to see them even show up from the Middle East, North Africa, West Africa, all over the place. We're even seeing Chinese nationals now. And so I like to remind people all the time, Jesse, it only took 19 individuals to pull off the September 11th attacks. Do not be surprised because of the complete dereliction of duty and the horrible policies of this administration to see something like that happen again.
You want to watch our special on George Washington? It's freaking awesome. Well, you can. All you have to do is become a First TV supporter. That gives you access to all of our specials on demand, and it's cake. All you have to go to is thefirsttv.com/support. Thefirsttv.com/support. Become a supporter. Enjoy learning about George Washington.